Welcome to part 2 of the Flowerhorn video series. This part is devoted to Flowerhorn strains. What are there? What are the types of different Flowerhorns? This will be very helpful to many people and probably the most watched of all of them. If you want to know more about the origins and what Flowerhorn's history is, please watch my other video, Flowerhorn History and Origins. And if you want to watch breeding and other tips and tricks of grooming, breeding, raising, treating, go and watch my later videos. Flowerhorns. When Flowerhorns started being hybridized in Asia about 1990, that's when they were created. Around there in 2002 they really became popular in the United States, and at that time some breeders started making their own strains, their own lines, and from that we have 4 categories or 4 original strains that all Flowerhorns are classified under. These strains usually have Asian names, but I'm going to give you the American name so that you can understand it and I can try to pronounce it for you and classify it. The 4 different strains are the ZZ, the Golden Monkey, or the KML we call it, the Confa, and the faders, the gold-based faders. So those are the 4 different lines: the ZZ, Golden Monkey, Confa, and faders. Those are the 4 categories, and all the different Flowerhorn types and names that you see fall underneath these categories as the main strains with it, and they have some different blood. We'll start with the ZZ. The ZZ is your common pearly type Flowerhorn. You'll most recognize it through the Red Dragon. The Red Dragon Flowerhorn is known for a couple things. They usually have a large cock on their head. They have lots of pearls. You'll see the flower line along their body. One very big characteristic trait of a ZZ is it has the flower right on the edge of the cock right there. And that is a very ZZ trait. They are also known to have red eyes. The ZZs are, I believe they have a lot more Trimac blood in it and Red Devil blood, and then they mix in some different fish for pearling over years. These have been line bred and bred for many years. One of the common Red Dragon types now that's very popular is the PN bloodline. PN is the initials of the original breeder, and this is known for really stocky, fat, little Super Red Dragon with a fat old cock on its head, which is very common to you guys. Red Dragon Flowerhorns are usually fertile. You'll see the red eye. The males are usually fertile, and so that's something great to know. The Confa. A Confa has a lot of Vieja blood in it. Viejas are a Central American, South American cichlid, I believe. The Synspilum, the Black Belt, the I think Bredora is still one. The Gutalantus, the Hartwiggy, or Hartwiggy. And the Viejas, you'll see some people doing Confa starters, and they'll just cross 4 different Viejas and get a 4-blood fish, and then they'll cross it over into a Flowerhorn. At this point, most people aren't creating Flowerhorns out of nothing. They always use Flowerhorn blood, just the blood's been around so long. So you get a 4 Confa starter and you breed it with another Flowerhorn and you get that going. So Confas are almost always sterile. The males are almost always sterile. Confas have some of the characteristics of the Confa. There's a wide variety of these ranges. This guy's an F1 first generation Confa. I don't believe you can see him. Maybe I'll post a picture. Confas usually have white eyes or black eyes. They don't usually have red eyes. Confas usually have a thicker, fatter body and kind of a bulkier fish. You'll see a lot of thicker pearlings on Confa usually. Confa don't normally have the flower line as dominant on them. When grooming Confas, another reason why they may not be fertile is Viejas usually take longer to become sexually mature, sometimes 16 months. So you're not going to get a 4-inch fish like you may with a Red Dragon that's breedable age. They also cross that with a parrot. So a lot of people will take like that 4 blood and cross it with a parrot, blood parrot, and because blood parrot, all the males are basically sterile. Now you get that blood in there, and that makes Confas sterile. So most Confas are sterile fish. They're wonderful. I think they're probably the most expensive of all of them. The Confas can be expensive. You'll see things King Confa, that's kind of just a line kicked off of that. What exactly makes a King Confa from a Confa is not a very easy question to answer. But so most people just call it Confa class, but some people may have their King Confa line, which is really nice fish usually, and they can be the most expensive fish. Grooming a Confa, because you got a lot of that wild blood in it, the Vieja blood in it, often the cock on their fish, you really have to groom out. They really have to feel like they're the biggest, baddest, most dominant fish in order to build that. So talking with some breeders, they say that it's real important how you groom it to really get the maximum potential of the fish versus something like the PN Red Dragon, which every baby almost just pops out with this huge old noggin. The KML stands for the Asian name of the word, which I can't pronounce, which is the translation of golden monkey. So we get golden monkey here as a translation in English. The golden monkeys, I know that there's a huge following for it. This is probably the hardest fish I have a hard time classifying. What exactly is a golden monkey? And a lot of people have a hard time classifying it too. When I ask them, they're like, well, that's a big debate. The original golden monkeys, you kind of see this golden base fish, a big fat fish with these beautiful reds and yellows in them, as seen in the picture. What makes different golden monkeys, they're not all that same color now, but they usually have a lot of pearls from what I see. I don't know a ton about the golden monkey strain. I just know that people care a lot about them, and there's a huge cultish-like following of the KML. Fantastic fish. So you can see some people selling KMLs and then some other crosses from the KML line. I think the most expensive KML golden monkey ever sold was like $100,000 US. Interesting fact. The golden base or faders. So you'll also see some different fader flowerhorns. We call them, you'll see people refer to them as GB, so golden base. I love faders. There's typical faders. The typical faders were kind of a classic two-color body. You see kind of like red to orange split down the middle. Now you're seeing more with lots of pearls. A lot of you watching this video may know Uncle Woody, who breeds in Thailand, and he's got his Fireman Dream line. That's a line of fader flowerhorns. So a fader, most fish, the fader gene comes from the parrots and the red devils, actually the red devils and Midas originally, and the fish come out gray or black, and some of them peel off to the orange color. And that's what a fader is. They peel off to show that beautiful color underneath. And so you're looking at the Fireman's Dream are a type of fader flowerhorn. Fader flowerhorns, I believe a decent amount of them can be fertile farther down the line, but when you start earlier, you're dealing with a lot of blood parrot in them, and again, that makes them sterile again. Now, some things that, some lines that kind of cross in that people, or names that people may hear, which are lines, not classifications. The Magma flowerhorn. Magma is actually a cross between a Super Red Dragon, a ZZ, and a Confa. So once you cross that, you actually get a fish that's sterile and doesn't breed. Sometimes the Magmas have red eyes. Sometimes they have the yellow or white eyes. Sometimes they have sunken eyes, like a lot of classic Confas used to have. But they're usually not fertile, but that's a Magma. It's a cross between those two. Thai Silk. Thai Silk flowerhorn is a great great fish. Silks actually come from often Confa, but what you do is you get a fish that is very heavy pearled, and you get two pairs that breed together that have a ton of pearling, and some of their fry come out with fused pearl, we call it. It's just where the pearls are so thick that they actually cover their whole body, and that's actually where a Thai Silk is from. A Thai Silk is from that. Now, they have been able to take lines and start breeding some of those together, but a lot of silks are Confas, Thai Silks, so they're not fertile. But you can get Thai Silks that come from Red Dragons. You can get them that come from faders. I have a fader silk from Woody's Fireman Dream line right here. This guy is just beautiful. You see the orange base on him with the blue. It's almost a white blue because it's faded. The pearls look different after they faded. But those are just the different informations and a basic rundown on types of flower horns and how they work together, or how they come. The 4 different categories, original categories: the ZZ, the KML, the Confa, and the fader. Those are the 4 categories and classifications of the flower horns. All the different lines that people make fit underneath those categories. And I hope that helps. Next, I'm going to talk about a video on what makes a flower horn a masterpiece, or how do you tell the different grades of a flower horns, why do we have flower horn grades, and then stay tuned for my other videos as well. So please like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, add information if you have it about the different strains of it, correct information if you find something that wasn't quite right, and yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one.